Welcome to Movie Rehash. Today, I am going to explain an action comedy film released in 2017 titled Baywatch. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and subscribe our channel. The movie begins with Mitch Buchanan, a lifeguard, going to work at Emerald Bay beaches. He notices a man parasailing on the water, but the man gets hurt when he hits a rock. Mitch quickly jumps into action, swimming to rescue the injured man. After the rescue, Mitch goes for his usual morning run around the bay. He encounters Sergeant Ellerby, and they joke around about their roles as law enforcers in the area. While running, Mitch notices a young boy picking up a pouch of the drug flakka on the beach. Mitch takes it from the boy and examines it closely. Mitch works alongside two other lifeguards, Stephanie Holden, whom he considers the best after himself, and CJ Parker. Ronnie Greenbaum, an aspiring lifeguard, has a crush on CJ. Ronnie and his friend Dave are playing with a toy craft on the beach when CJ approaches to wish Ronnie good luck for the upcoming qualifiers. However, Ronnie gets tongue-tied and can barely speak coherently around her. Matt Brody arrives at the bay on his motorcycle and attempts to introduce himself to one of the potential lifeguards, Summer Quinn, but she ignores him. Brody then meets Mitch and Steph, telling them about his position on the team and his past achievements as a two-time gold medal winner, but they show no interest. Mitch informs Brody that he has to earn his place on the team, which prompts Brody to respond rudely. Victoria Leeds, the new owner of the beach's Huntley Club, meets with Councilman Rodriguez over a real estate deal. In return for his help, Leeds gives him a watch that her associates wear. Ronnie is on the beach with Dave, munching on baby carrots, when he spots CJ again. Suddenly, he starts choking on a carrot, and CJ rushes to perform the Heimlich maneuver on him. Meanwhile, on the nearby pier, two children fall into the water, and their mother jumps in after them. Mitch, Steph, and CJ rush to rescue them, while Brody tries to be a hero by following them. He attempts to rescue the mother, but she keeps hitting him. Mitch and CJ successfully rescue the kids, and Steph brings them to safety. However, Brody's attempt to be a hero only makes him look foolish in the end. Brody starts training under Mitch's guidance along the beach. During one session, he almost steps on a poisonous sea urchin, but Mitch quickly alerts him to the danger. On the water, Rodriguez informs Leeds that he has made arrangements for the real estate deal with his associates. However, due to his failure to deliver on time, Leeds sends her two henchmen, Frankie and Leon, to intimidate Rodriguez. In an attempt to challenge Leeds, Rodriguez mentions his knowledge of her involvement in drug trafficking. Unfazed, Leeds leaves her men to handle Rodriguez's defiance. While the team continues their training, Leeds arrives and Mitch introduces her to everyone. She invites the whole team to an open house event at the Huntley that night. Shortly after she leaves, Steph receives a call about a yacht on fire at the beach. The entire team, including the trainees, rushes to the scene. Mitch jumps onto the burning boat and rescues three women, but he also finds an unconscious man. Brody attempts to help underwater but gets caught in the fire. Steph uses her jet ski to splash water around the flames, while Summer pulls Brody to safety. Upon returning to shore, they discover that the man they rescued is dead, and it turns out to be Rodriguez. Ellerby arrives, and despite Mitch's attempts to discuss their findings, Ellerby insists they stay out of the police matter. After this, we learn that Dave is working for Leeds as her tech guy. He tries to blackmail her to keep quiet about Rodriguez's murder. However, Leeds has a different plan in mind. The team gathers for lunch and discusses the discovery of the dead body and the presence of flakka on the rescued women, indicating they were under its influence. They agree to attend the open house hosted by Leeds to gather more information about her. The team goes undercover at the open house, assigning Brody to keep an eye on Leeds. Despite getting Leeds alone, Brody's focus shifts to drinking rather than gathering information. Meanwhile, Ronnie distracts Leeds with a wild dance, catching CJ's attention. Mitch confronts Brody about his failure, leading to a heated exchange where Brody insults Mitch, calling him just a lifeguard. Mitch retaliates by scaring Brody into falling into a pool, causing him to vomit. Brody tries to play it off by suggesting shots, but he ends up passing out instead. Frankie and Leon take Dave's lifeless body on a boat out to sea. They cover him with pieces of meat and toss him overboard, intending for him to become shark food. The following morning, Mitch confronts Brody, acknowledging his individual skills but criticizing his inability to work as part of a team due to selfishness. Brody pleads for another chance and reveals to Mitch and Summer that he noticed Rodriguez wearing the same watch as Leeds' henchmen. The trio disguises themselves as hospital staff and heads to the morgue to continue their investigation. Inside, they find Rodriguez's body and autopsy reports. discovering that there's no evidence of smoke in his lungs, indicating he died before the boat fire. Meanwhile, Summer spots Frankie and Leon approaching. The three hide in the drawers, but Brody ends up on top of a deceased old lady, with corpse fat dripping on his face. When the goons swap out Rodriguez's autopsy file to make it seem like he died in the fire, Brody panics and jumps out, accidentally getting hand sanitizer in his mouth. Their cover is further blown when Summer's phone rings, and Leon snatches it before fleeing with Frankie. Leon tosses Summer's phone to Frankie, prompting Mitch to chase Frankie on a jet ski, while Brody and Summer pursue Leon. Mitch catches up with Frankie, who is attempting to break into a family's home. They engage in a fight, eventually ending up in a little girl's bedroom. Mitch manages to knock Frankie out by putting a diaper bin on his head and pushing him out of the window into the pool. Mitch, Brody, and Summer meet with Ellerby, who angrily orders them to stop interfering in the case. Thorpe arrives and the trio tries to explain that they had evidence against Leeds' men, but it has been destroyed. Thorpe threatens to fire Mitch if he continues his investigation. Mitch notices the Huntley Club receiving fish from another company, suspecting it's how they're smuggling Flocka onto the beach. He and Brody decide to go undercover and sneak into the Huntley's kitchen, where they catch Leeds' men handling drugs. Mitch calls Ellerby to report the discovery, but Ellerby is occupied with the discovery of Dave's body being partially consumed by sharks. To make matters worse, Ellerby has Thorpe listen in on Mitch's call. Thorpe summons Mitch to his office to terminate his employment. He appoints Brody as the new lieutenant, but Mitch argues that Stephanie, who knows the beach as well as he does, should be given the position instead. Thorpe disregards Mitch's suggestion and dismisses him. Brody attempts to refuse the offer, but Thorpe threatens him with a negative record for his community service. Despite lacking everyone's support, Brody takes charge on the beach. He catches a thief using a cooler to steal people's belongings, tackling him and scaring him away. Upon inspecting the cooler, Brody discovers a bag of Flocka inside. Brody visits Ellerby's office, offering him a chocolate smoothie as a gesture of goodwill. While Ellerby is distracted by the drink, Brody discreetly uses the cooler to snatch a file from his desk without him noticing. Mitch takes a new job at a phone store and distances himself from his team. Feeling disheartened, he appears ready to give up. However, he encounters his old mentor, the original Mitch, who inspires him to persevere and not give up on himself or his team. Brody approaches Summer with the file, revealing images of Dave's corpse. Ronnie recognizes Dave and recalls him mentioning working with Leeds. He informs the others, and later shows Brody how to hack into Leeds' servers. This leads them to uncover Leeds' scheme. She aims to privatize the beach to eliminate competition and distribute drugs without detection. The group informs the ladies about the plan, and they unite to thwart Leeds' scheme. The team infiltrates Leeds' yacht during a party. Steph, CJ, and Ronnie locate Murray Chun, a real estate guy whom Leeds has kidnapped as part of her scheme. Meanwhile, Brody swims underneath the boat and discovers that Leeds has been smuggling drugs in the hull. Brody resurfaces to inform Summer to contact the authorities. However, upon returning to the boat, he is ambushed and knocked unconscious by Frankie. The goons transport Brody to another boat and confine him in a cage. Just before she attempts to kill Brody, Leeds reveals that she bribed Thorpe to frame Mitch, leading to his termination and to remove him from her path. She then pushes the cage into the water, witnessed by Ronnie and CJ. As Brody resigns himself to his fate, he is suddenly rescued from the cage. He sees Summer seemingly reviving him, but to his dismay, it turns out to be Mitch. As Leeds prepares to escape on a helicopter, Mitch instructs Ronnie to manipulate the fireworks display to distract the pilot. Initially nervous, Ronnie gains confidence after a kiss from CJ. As the fireworks erupt, Mitch and Brody engage in a fight with Frankie and Leon. Frankie ends up falling into the water, while Leeds fatally shoots Leon, causing him to fall into the water. However, he resurfaces and confronts Leeds, who holds Brody at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Ronnie and CJ discover a large red button. Ronnie activates it, and Mitch notices lights near him turning on. Brody disarms Leeds just as she runs out of bullets. Mitch grabs a Roman candle, delivers a one-liner, and waits for Ronnie to press the button, launching the firework at Leeds and obliterating her. Mitch then reveals he used a sea urchin to boost his adrenaline and get back up, but he urgently needs medical attention. Back on shore, Mitch receives medical treatment, and Ellerby arrives to apologize for doubting Mitch's claims. Thorpe appears and attempts to berate Mitch, but Brody intervenes and punches Thorpe in the face. Ellerby then arrests Thorpe and Frankie. Later, Ronnie and CJ become romantically involved, while Brody and Summer also seem to start a relationship. Mitch then introduces them to their new captain, Casey Jean, who makes a dramatic entrance in slow motion. The movie concludes with the team performing their slow-motion run on the beach, but Brody takes a tumble on the sand. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more interesting movie recaps.